Bangladesh. It's like you're reading my mind, Google.
We do need to know that.
AI is amazing. I feel like this feels like a 452 kind of day, not really a 448 kind of day.
Right. Then there's some plant. It has 1,260 chromosomes.
Bad mean ass giraffe, like.
I know that they get like. I know there's
but then they strike. They're like,
I'm so glad you mentioned Trump. I think I've officially like turned the corner, and I might be like a semi-fan of Trump.
Wow. Okay.
Because he's announced that he's really wanting to push forward on things that are really, really important to me, like fucking taking Greenland.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fucking Danes have like had that shit for too long. Like they've been sitting pretty. And why isn't that ours? Also, Canada will be the 51st state. And then also his idea that I completely support to like rename the Gulf of Mexico to be the Gulf of America.
Yeah. Why didn't he run on this stuff? We would have voted for him without reservation.
I know.
I mean, sure, he's a threat to democracy, but renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
And of course, let's bring back some imperialism. Greenland should be ours, clearly. And critical to all of our ice
national
production or something. Like so random that he's like,
I know you. It's almost like spinning a globe and like them. They're ours.
Like You're ours
now.
That should be ours. Clearly. You
gotta skip over a whole huge country, but that one up there.
Right. Fuck you, Danes. The Danish people, like I don't know, or whatever. The Danes still technically own them. And Dad told me, I had no idea about this, that Newfoundland, right? They got the choice whether they wanted to be a part of the U.S. or Canada. And they chose Canada, which is retarded. But, I mean, we'll fix it when we take Canada.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think it's so funny. It's just like the most ridiculous shit to be like, here's the real problem that we've got right now. These Canadians, they've just been sitting pretty for a while. We're going to make this whole country one state. Quebec, that's a French-speaking state.
Quebec.
Yeah, they're so dumb. They don't even know how to say it. They don't even know how to say it right. It's
Q-U is qua.
Qua, yeah, not Quebec. Anyway.
No,
wrong. Yeah. God. So yeah, I was hanging out with Mom and Dad. She was like, Michelle got in trouble because she didn't go to Carter's funeral. And I was like, Michelle, okay. Michelle Obama? And she was like, yes. But her husband went. And I was like, Michelle's husband? Is that what we call Barack Obama now?
Former president
yeah, Michelle's
Barack
husband. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know we were on a first name basis with Michelle, actually.
Yeah, but we don't know her husband all that well, so we just refer to him as Michelle's husband.
I did think it was really weird throughout the whole campaign, or at least a part of the campaign when Kamala Harris took over from
Joe Byron.
When Kamala Harris took over from Joe Byron, it was just so weird that they always called Trump, and they would call Kamala Harris Kamala. So she's by the first name.
Right, we're not like Donald and Kamala. We're like
Trump and Kamala, which is weird because Kamala's the harder name to say than Harris. So if you're going to pick one for ease, you'd say Harris. It's also more formal, and it's also so there's like a vaguely sexist undertone to this, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. Did she take her husband's last name?
Yeah, he's Douglas Emhoff now.
We should know this stuff about her since we at her on every one of our videos.
I have been doing that actually, as a matter of fact. Every short, I'm add Kamala Harris.
I love it. I love that that's a thing. We can at Michelle Obama now too.
I have no idea who to at. We have a short about eating so many gummy bears your pancreas explodes.
I know.
Who do you at on a?
Yeah, it's like at Kamala.
Cody just got his DNA test stuff. This stuff is really dubious, these DNA tests, because he got his updated, and it's been like wild swings in this ethnicity. It's like all of a sudden he's no longer Northern European, now he's Greek and Italian.
Like, I don't understand how, like, Kiara and Cody are different ethnicities in this respect. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, I guess you can just randomly get, like, here's part of mom's French DNA and here's whatever. I don't know.
I think that's got to be how it works. I mean, I guess if it's like, here's the DNA traits that have fired off for you, these are the ones common to the peoples of... the Mediterranean.
I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about how genes actually fucking work. I like learned dominant and recessive. I'm like, here's how it works. Big R, little r. Like, that's how you figure out what color eyes you... But even in that scenario, I guess the recessive genes are still present. So I'm like, now that I say that, I'm like, Like, you would have, for brown hair, let's say that's big R and blonde hair is little r. But dad and mom both had two recessive little R's, so then I get the little R's, and you get at least one big R.
Right. You got it. You're teaching genomics right now.
I should put that on my resume. That is very, very secure. So I'm like an expert in the human genome. And like, I guess I don't have the link exactly in my mind of like how our chromosomes are related to this, but we have 23 sets of chromosomes, 64 total chromosomes.
46. You got it backwards.
Yeah. I'm like not dyslexic, but sometimes I seem to be dyslexic.
Well, that's the double R little recessive. if you get 7 big R's and 1 little R, then every once in a while you say numbers backwards.
That's totally me. Yeah.
You should know this as a study of genomics.
Well, now I do know. See, I've got a new subspecialty, which is dyslexia as president of human genome. Last thought on the chromosome thing is I thought that like number of chromosomes would make you more complex or whatever, but like if you look at a list of how many chromosomes things have, like it's a crazy array. Okay, so a swamp wallaby has 10, right?
All right, not that complicated.
Spinach has 12.
Okay.
Then aloe vera has 14, a koala has 16, same as a kangaroo. An itch might, have 17 or 18. Radishes have 18. Okay.
All right, so we beat radishes.
Yeah. We also beat snails. Snails have 24.
Still higher on the leaderboard.
Yeah. Right. Alfalfa, 32.
30. Oh, we got crushed by alfalfa. Damn alfalfa. Damn you, alfalfa. I'm going to need to see a chart
where are people? Yeah. Here, I'll send you this link.
I started typing in chart of number of chromosomes, and the thing that popped up was chart of number of chromosomes in Bangladesh. It's like you're reading my mind, Google.
We do need to know that.
AI is amazing. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So we got 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. I see.
Oh, okay. Eucalyptus 22, bed bugs 29 to 47, whatever that means. Giraffes have 30, moon jellyfish have 44, dolphins have 44, humans 46. Okay. So let's see what beats us. Tobacco has 48, potatoes have 48.
Get out of
orangutans, hares, gorillas, deer, mouse, chimpanzees, beavers, all 48. Zebrafish 50. Let's fast forward a little. Sheep have 54. Silkworms 56.
I was feeling pretty good at when we were beating out dolphins and giraffes, but now I'm like, we're just sort of middle of the pack, huh?
Turkeys have 80. Pigeons also have 80. Then Atlantis blue, which is a type of butterfly, has 448 to 452.
Depending on how they feel that day.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the variation is.
I feel like this feels like a 452 kind of day, not really a 448 kind of day.
Right. Then there's some plant. It has 1,260 chromosomes.
Yeah.
Then there's a ciliated protozoa that has 16,000. The macronuclear nanochromosomes amploid. I don't know what that even means. I just said words that don't mean a thing to me.
That's how we spend our whole podcast saying things like that mean nothing to us.
Just words are coming out and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
EBITDA, Roki, return on something.
Yeah.
Even if you know the words, you're like, okay, return on capital employed.
EBITDA is the name of my future child. That's what I know about that one in particular. But
got it tattooed in advance on my shoulder blade.
Yeah. Yeah, on my butt. It says it's got a heart with an arrow through it. That's Ibada.
And then it's got born and then an underline.
Yeah, like TBD for now.
Thank God they can remove those tattoos. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
I take solace in the chromosome thing in that we could kill every one of those fucking animals and plants.
That's true. That's very true.
Maybe the bear's got a fighting chance, but only if you're like one-on-one with a human naked.
Well,
no weapons.
Without weapons, we don't have a chance against a lot of animals.
The dust mites.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a giraffe could easily kick our ass. They're not even like aggressive, you know.
Yeah, I was
they
gonna
just
say,
like hit us with their neck. Like,
when's the last time you saw a mad, mean-ass giraffe? Like,
I know that they get like
da, 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 da,
I know there's I mean,
but then they strike. They're like, sweeping there, and they're like.
Have you seen a video of giraffes fighting? When like doing mating stuff, they do actually fight.
I don't.
And what they do is they bash each other with their necks until one of them breaks their neck.
Oh.
And then
Oh.
They're pretty hardcore.
You gotta want it bad if you're gonna.
Right.
Here we go. Giraffes fighting.
Yeah, there you go.
It is kind of like if you were to imagine taking a giraffe's body and swinging the head. That's more or less.
Yeah. If I had a stuffed animal giraffe when I was little and I wanted it to fight something, this is pretty much how I would do it. I would just hold the body and whip the head at it. So that one like maybe just broke its neck.
Broke its own neck.
Or maybe it just fell over. I don't know.
I'm gonna check this out.
I think that they could kick our ass is what I'm saying. It's that's a takeaway.
Do giraffes
for sure.
break their necks when they fight? Yes, giraffes can break their necks during fights.
Yeah.
For dominance and necking, which is a different word.
Which isn't the fun kind of necking.
No,
like
this
we
is
do.
not. This is not the good necking. This
not
is
that like anybody says necking. I don't even know that anybody said necking when I was growing up.
No.
I feel like that's been old talk since like I was born.
Yeah. I don't know when did they do necking. They have websites that track the popularity of words?
Absolutely they do, but I think it's the same time roughly when people did heavy petting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when that took place, but simpler times, I suppose.
Google AI says the word necking is not very popular today, considered an outdated slang, and is mostly used to refer to the act of passionate kissing or making out, as they would call it these days.
So it looks like it was popular in like the 60s.
I'm going to show this right here.
And so what? Oh, necking all caps.
All caps is not very popular.
Necking! Yeah.
Animal necking! Necking! They're in the back seat of the Cadillac convertible. Necking!
Yeah.
Well, look at this. The word "the." We've got an issue. The is in free fall decline in terms of its use. Wow.
Yeah.
Write your congressman, man. We've got to save the thes.
I don't really care about saving the word the with lowercase th, capital E. That one, I'm fine with that one falling off.
Like Google, you're just counting typos at this point. I mean, really.
Right. But still, that's much more popular than necking. Thank you to the Germans for giving us the word neck.
Well done, Germany. You're not absolutely useless. You gave us the word neck. And BMWs.
Right.
So,
and Mercedes, right?
They also did Mercedes and Porsche and Volkswagen and a few other things. But those are the main things.
Right. That's really what we know Germany for in history. All period. Those are their major contributions.
The word "the" and a couple of automakers. I think that's as good as introduction as any. One way or another, Kalyn, I think we should get this show going. Cue the music. You are listening to the Robert and Kalyn Count Chromosomes and Discuss the Origin of the Word Necking podcast. Also known as Robert and Kalyn Get Rich. This is episode 36.
36. Yay!
Today is January the 13th, lucky 13, Kalyn's favorite number.
That's right.
The number she wore when she was a varsity soccer player for the University of Houston Cougars.
Wrong number, but yeah, it was before that.
Nobody's going to look it up. It doesn't matter.
That's true. I don't know if you could find out.
She brings all her Cougar soccer experience to this podcast every single week to bring that wisdom to the world of capital markets. Kalyn's one of our hosts. I'm the other host, Robert. And but more important even than that is this following statement.
This is not financial or investment advice. I feel silly saying it every time because I just can't imagine who would be like, these two. This is where I should go for all of my financial and investment advice. The ones who are like, put your money in your mattress, like last week.
The origin of the word necking. Now I suggest you invest in Bitcoin.
Yes.
If that's what you're into, you've come to the right show. I mean, what else can I say? Somehow, our search engine optimization is working like a champ. Anyway, if you're happy with what you find here, give us a thumbs up or rating us high, like us, subscribe to us, send this podcast to all your friends. They're going to want to know the origin of the word necking. I promise you that.
Who wouldn't want to know that?
Nobody. All right. The other thing people want to know, I mean, they're just dying to know, is how is the Get Rich portfolio doing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Answer?
Ooh.
Well, it's been rough seas on Wall Street lately, especially today, but our portfolios hold up pretty good. We're at 8.3% plus our unrealized
down from last
gain.
Week, I guess, right?
Yeah, we're down a smidge, you know.
I just wanted to see how Reddit I know has done well, but I keep thinking about it. It adheres to my, like, I love this thing and I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Should buy it.
All right, Reddit is one at the very bottom because it was our first investment.
Yeah.
It's down a little today. But, I mean, we can take it because we're up 143% in this position.
Yeah.
With realized gains of $674. So,
dang.
Not too shabby. Yeah.
On $1,000, right?
Yeah, $1,000. I think our best performer is Fannie Mae, but that's beyond that. I think Reddit's the next best. All right, so remember this number, 8.3%. Plus realized gains, and let us switch over to the baseline.
The S&P.
Yep, 5.95, 6%. We're killing them.
Look out, man! That's awesome.
They're up 0.16. I have no idea how this happened because I thought it was a bloodbath all day today.
I mean, that's not doing great. 0.016 or 0.16. Look at me with numbers. I can't. Don't ask me to do numbers.
It's that recessive gene, Kalyn. You can't get away from it. You know.
It's really dominating today, though. So, how are our friends doing?
Oh God, our friends.
Our friends who you should listen to for investment advice even less than us.
Less frequently. They had an up 1% day somehow magically, but yes, they're just bleeding.
Down 11%. Yeah, so Reddit's down today. That's good to know. Maybe I should move some money. I don't know if you were going to segue into something. I had two little follow-ups from last week. So yeah, this is what $20 million looks like in a mattress.
Wow. What denomination are these bills? That looks like basically a 20 right there.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a picture from like the feds or something. I guess this is a Brazilian man reportedly hid $20 million in the box spring of his mattress, and authorities said it was related to a massive pyramid scheme.
You'd think they'd all be C notes if you were going to be as efficient as possible.
I don't know. If you're the kind of person that's storing $20 million in a mattress, I don't know if you're worried about efficiency because you're not thinking like, maybe I should put this in a safety deposit box or something else that's like slightly safer. Even if you're like, I can't have this cash go into a bank. Yeah. There are still other solutions besides this that I think would be, I mean, you should just give it to a hobo with
When you hear the term like put it in your mattress, is this what you're thinking? Like you actually cut open the box spring and put it in the box spring? Because I always envision just stuffing things in between the box spring and the mattress.
So I guess I thought it was like under your mattress, like you'd have a box underneath your bed or something.
That's a stupid way to store your money, Kalyn.
Yeah. Don't put it in a box. Anybody could grab a box out from under your bed.
No, stuff it in between.
Yeah, then it's just a pain in the ass every time you have to change the sheets. Like, money's just...
Every teenage boy of mine era knows that's where the porno max goes. So. Now there's no such thing as a porno mag, so you don't have to worry about stuffing it anywhere.
No, they still exist. They totally still exist. I only know this because the gas station, like, down the street from my house still has a stand right next to the front door that's, like, nudie magazines. And I'm like, who buys these? Like, are you that, like, technologically, like, ugh, man, I just can't have my computer in the... Never mind. That person probably has a very gross... yeah. I want to, like, look at this girl's picture on paper, or I'm, like, going to be in the bathtub or something where I can't have an electronic device. Anyway, yeah. So they still exist.
Yeah, well, you clearly have very limited exposure to the porn industry here.
That's true, yes. When I met my friend January, actually, the first time I met her, like,
hey,
there was a party.
You want to watch some porn, you and me?
Pretty close. So I was on a date with this guy who happened to be in residency or whatever with them. Long story short, they're having a party, and they were like, let's put on this porn. Like, there's like 12 people there or something. But it was like the highest production cost porn of all time. It was called like Pirates or something, and so it like had very elaborate scenes, like not just like the sex scenes were elaborate, but like, you know, would have like whatever makes production value go up a lot. That was involved. And I was like, I can't believe I'm watching porn with like 12 people that I don't know at all. This is like my first date with this guy. And like, anyways. But yeah, it was an interesting evening for sure. There had just been a hurricane and Ash had gotten lost, and I was losing my mind. And like, this guy James, who had worked at the gallery, was like, what's going on? Oh my god, your dog's gone. And he like runs off, gets my dog, and brings him back. Like he comes back carrying Ash like a baby. I'm so like, yeah, like he had to go, it was like at the business 2 doors down where somebody was giving the dog fucking barbecue or whatever. Anyway, so James comes back holding my dog like a baby, and I was just crying my eyes out. I thought he was gone forever. Anyways, I didn't even know his name at the time, and I like found out from my coworker. She was like, it's Jamie. And so I wrote him a note. I'm like, dear Jamie, thank you so much for finding my dog, blah 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 blah, whatever, and gave it to him. Well, it just so happened that January's other roommate is named Jamie. And so James had come home with this note, left it on the counter, and Jamie opens up this note. It's like, dear Jamie, thanks for saving my dog. And she's like, I don't remember doing that. And then I show up at their house within like a week of that. And I'm like, wow, that is a really weird sequence of events that led us to all be here watching pirates porn together.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this week. You've been listening to the... I mean, how are we going to top this? Kalyn, you have the craziest dating stories. Date French guys who treat you like shit twice.
Yeah, that's the same guy who, like, we'd be sitting there watching a movie. He'd have his arm around me, whatever. And I just feel like him doing this. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm thinking about what size needle I could put in that vein. I'm like, dude... What? We're weird. Watching The Notebook right now. Like, I don't know. This is an inside thought, you know. Just, anyways.
Right.
So.
You doctors, you nerds, you've got to like learn what's appropriate and what's not.
Leave that at work, yeah.
I have an update from last podcast. Now, you remember we talked about you out of nowhere getting a cell phone mailed to you that seemed to be perfectly normal and all that. All right, so what I thought it was what was called a triangulation scam or triangulation fraud, right? Uh-huh. So I don't know if this chart makes it super clear, but basically, let's start with the fraudster, right? Fraudster steals a credit card and buys something, and then you buy the... I don't know why DVD player is coming into my head. So let's say you want to sell a DVD player to watch porn on, then or you might buy maybe an iPhone, right? And then you post that iPhone on eBay for resale, right? But you bought it with a fraudulent card. You sell it to an unwitting customer who buys it off of eBay with a legitimate card. So you get the real money from the real card. They get the phone. They don't ask questions because they got a good product for their money. And the person whose card it went on, challenges the charge for fraud, and the charge gets canceled. But they can't, it makes it hard for them to tie the pieces back together, right? Because the old-fashioned fraud is, I buy something from you, but it's fake, right? It's a direct transaction. We know exactly where to go look for the guy who committed the fraud, right? Anyway,
So like almost every step along that process is the opposite of what happened with me though, because like I didn't get charged my card at all. Like it sounds like I'm the fraudster in this scenario. Like I charged someone's card and then I got the phone, but I didn't charge anybody. I charged nothing.
Yeah.
It just happened to be tied to my, like I thought that it was maybe that when the person purchasing this thing hit the wrong line item on customers on Verizon's thing, because basically like it looked all legit and Verizon's like, yeah, we have it here, it's all paid for, everything's done, this is your phone, here you go. But I was like, didn't order anything.
Yeah.
I don't have this email address. It was like sent to some weird, like it was like for like my favorite son, like that's who like said the phone was for. And I'm like, okay. I thought you were reading about, okay, so we've all heard of phishing, right? Like PHI.
Sure. Yeah.
Now there's like all these different things. There's smishing, which is texting but phishing.
Oh.
And
sounds the same. Oh, I get those all the time. Is this Emily's phone? And I'm just like, delete, you know?
No, yeah, it happens all the time now. And like one I keep getting is like USPS, and they're like, hey, we have your package and we need to release it. But like USPS does not text, period. They don't have texting of any kind available for any service. Like none exists at all.
You think the US government knows how to text you? They can't do that.
Yeah, right. Come on.
We're still working on 80s technology.
Like, how would they know your phone number? When I mail you a letter, if I mail you something, even, I guess if you put it certified or something, maybe with the fancy services you could have a phone number listed, but I don't know. Anyway, there's so many of these now. There's Vishing, cybercrime that involves using phones or voice messages to trick people into sharing messages. There's a whole slew of smishing, vishing, phishing, Vishing,
it's a Dr. Seuss book of scam types from
scams,
these phishing.
Right.
All from these.
From strangers trying to get your shit via whatever.
All right.
I mean, it's terrible. Yeah. So.
All right, I want to talk about a lighter subject. You know how we've talked about recipe reviews a couple of times, and how if you're the kind of person who writes a recipe review, you have to tinker with the ingredients.
P.S. Here's the 900 ways I changed this recipe.
This was only so, but I substituted chili powder for the paprika and the anyway. All right, well I found one exception to this rule. So this is the best recipe review I've ever read. I will share it with you now. Dan Daggs wrote, I got drunk and made this when my fiance wasn't home and got all these stains on my undershirt when I ate it. I spilled it on myself and it was so good and I don't even care. Now, where was it?
What is that a recipe for?
It's a recipe for homemade hamburger helper in the New York Times. Dan Daggs wrote this. This is not some 2-bit recipe website. This is the old gray lady where we are telling spilled hamburger helper on.
Like, loved it that much.
I will tell you, we made that recipe and we did love it. I mean, Cody ate that like it was his job. It's a huge quantity that you make here.
Yeah.
You're chopping up bacon and putting in there. It's got cream, 2 cups of cheddar cheese. It is ooey gooey delicious. So we had this huge leftover thing. The next morning I come back and there's like a trace amount around the edges. He's scarfed this thing down. Teenage boys, it's incredible.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it sounds really good. I like regular hamburger helper, if I'm honest, but I was like,
I did too.
Yeah, I made that pulled pork the other day, and I looked at a couple of different recipes, and some people were like, okay, so I recommend you start 4 days in advance because you need to first do a brine for 2 days, and then you need to do a rub that sits at blah 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 blah, and then you also need to cook for 24 hours. I'm like, no, like that's like really, like that's too much.
I'm not shooting for the best pulled pork there ever was. I'm just
like I'm not gonna brine. I don't know. Yeah. I'm against brining, I guess, as a rule, but like
new rule, everyone. Kalyn does not like brining. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not good at that, planning that far in advance of like my meals. I'm not like, okay, in 3 days time I'm gonna eat this piece of meat, like like, so I want to start the process now, like maybe for Thanksgiving. That's like the only time I'm thinking like that far ahead about one meal in particular. Yeah, right, like I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, probably wasn't like the smartest idea to like make 7 pounds of pulled pork the day before mom and dad go out of town because I was super banking on leaving some with them.
Yeah.
But
once again, planning ahead, not the strong suit.
Yeah, exactly. Now, yeah, like, I mean, I'm seeing you guys the day before you go, so that's enough. But
you each have to eat 2.5 pounds of this stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. I did put a rub on it the night before, so it like was in the fridge with a rub that I just like threw in a Ziploc bag with the meat, and then it cooked for 3.5 hours or something like that on the stove. Like, it was super flavorful, very juicy, crazy tender. I don't know where like this need to cook it for 12 to 16 hours. Literally, one said that in the oven.
Yeah.
Highly recommend though.
Fantastic.
Great experience, all right. Yeah. I will not be writing a review for that recipe.
Right. Well, that makes me think of something that is about 2.5
Your
pounds.
pancreas.
Yeah. Pancreas,
Well,
I've missed you. This is almost 2.5 pounds exactly. 2 pounds, 8.5 ounces. So just a half an ounce over 2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, this today is the halfway mark of
Episode 36. Did we start at episode 1?
No, absolutely
not episode 1.
Not close.
Yeah.
10 or 12.
I will have to go
12
back
or 14.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we could do the reverse math or whatever, right? For figuring out how many episodes roughly. Well,
we could estimate, yeah.
We have not eaten consistent amounts, especially when I was there. We had
not once.
Good bit more. Mm-hmm. We should have made a chart of how much we ate each day.
It'd be like the usage chart for the word necking.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe helpful for the viewers. We'll try to put something together.
By the way, Justin contacted us and has said he is for sure in on coming for the 50th.
Episode 50. Episode 50 bonanza.
Gummy bear bonanza.
Yeah, we also need to extend proper invitation to spicy nuts or lucky nuts or whatever, unless that's you, Justin, and then you're double invited, I guess. Mm-hmm. So
maybe he will reveal himself as Lucky Nuts. Yeah, hey, listen, Lucky Nuts, open invitation, 50th anniversary.
You're welcome to come to my brother's house.
Yeah, make sure you clearly identify yourself first, and no scams or phishing, please.
Yeah, I know you're flying in from Nigeria, but
don't go asking for money. So. All right, here we go.
How do we do?
2 pounds, 6 ounces. I just took down 2.5 ounces worth of gummy bear. So that's 38. Yeah. We got 38 ounces left, 2.5.
38 divided by 2.5, 15.2. Yeah, which we're going to have
episode 51. Yeah, we're in the ballpark.
No, but we're gonna have extra people there for episode 50, so we'll finish it.
These poor people are not eating this on episode 50. You and I are gonna sit there and choke down whatever is left of this on episode 50.
Right. We maybe need to give it a rinse or something at some point.
Wash it in soap and water.
Yeah, right. Put some bleach on there.
You got a podcast episode of the week?
Yeah, no, I do actually, because I've been listening to this one, and it's one that I've kind of dug up from the past. It's called The Science of Happiness. What I really like about it, they have like a guest each week, and they have like a catalog of techniques that people choose from. The one that I've done personally was around gratitude, and the task was to write a letter to somebody that you've been needing to thank for a long time, and then when I'm done, then meet with them and actually read the letter to them. Oh my. Right?
Yeah.
Which I did with Adam, and this was a while back, but research indicates that both people have a super significant uptick in their warm fuzzy feelings, overall contentment with life, all the good stuff that you want. Mine was, of course, 12 pages long. And I was
I'm getting
crying.
So tired of hearing.
You're my best friend. I love you so much. And here's all the reasons why I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did this 3 or 4 years ago now. And both he and I have referenced it fairly recently as this really amazing moment that has lingering effects. So anyways, I really like the layout though, bringing some guest on who tries out this thing and then explains their experience. So anyway, I've been re-listening to that one lately.
Fantastic. All right, there you go, folks. Yeah. The Science of Happiness. You should listen to that. We don't make financial or investing advice, but we will recommend the podcast.
Yeah.
Science of something. All right.
Happiness.
Oh, happiness. That's right. All right. Very good.
Do you have information about Epi-Spa?
Yes, I do. It's any.
Or do you want to skip any spa?
Never before have I had such a bewildering, but any spa, and this is not how you say it, I'm sure, but any is the name of the company, and spa is like saying ink. But they're European, first of all, so like different reporting requirements and whatever, and like they've got these business
Plenitude.
Plenitude, and in live, I mean, they've got these business units, and I have no idea I guess I could have some idea what the business units do from these pictures.
Well, and then describe them, right?
And then you get slides like this where you're like,
yeah,
they're in, they fund furniture growth, and they're aligned, and that one's got this one's got an open circle, and this one's got a closed. I don't know. Does this mean something?
Yeah.
And then they go into these, and then they talk about like how many resources they have, and like here's Outlook and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, I need the financials, guys. The financials. All right, there's some financials, and it's like marketing and biorefining, like pro forma EBITDA, adjusted EBITDA, cap. Okay, I mean, these are things. And then you got this average ROACE, return on something.
Rose.
Some kind of capital employed, active capital employed. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a 15+%.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. We should invest. And I can't tell if the financials are just tied towards like just the one with the windmill on it.
The open,
yeah. Is it just any spot?
Is this platitude or is this all of it?
Yeah, exactly. You're speaking exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Let's talk about Valaris. Because Valaris is a stock I have personally invested in. I've recently increased that investment. Anyway, 7% of their business is any spa. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that's how they tie together. So I'm like bullish on the space. So if it's like, if you wanted to invest in any, I'd be like, great, let's do it. Or, just be with me on Valaris. Here's what Valaris does. They have boats like this. All right. And a couple of different kinds. This is like the biggest and the baddest of the boats. But basically, if you're British Petroleum or Shell or any, and you're like, I've got the rights to this patch of ocean floor to drill. This is a drill, so they will come and they will drill your holes for you, basically. And I haven't quite figured this out, but if you're British Petroleum, you'll like basically rent this boat or rent this service from Valaris for like 2 years. So I don't know if it takes 2 years to drill one hole, or if you're drilling 2 holes a day in the same seabed. I don't know. That part I haven't figured out. But they've got these long-term contracts, basically, right? So they got 53 of these rigs of different sizes. They're the biggest. They're number one. They and a whole bunch of these companies like went into bankruptcy and then came out of bankruptcy. And so like a whole bunch of their debt is basically wiped out. They're almost essentially debt free. Here's where all their rigs are. Here's all their business, which I guess any doesn't, or this is their floater. But so maybe any is, are they on this one? There they are. See?
Yay. 13%.
So any's bigger in the jackups versus the floaters. So anyway, this is there's a jackup, I guess. Anyway, let's get to all right. Third-party data, third-party estimates, right? This is supposed to be the demand for floaters and the demand for jackups, so that's going up, and demand for oil and going up. Anyway, but this is where now we start to get to the part that really got me, right? Which is like, all right, this has been the day rate. You rent these by the day, right? So you pay as much by the day as would be a very, very comfortable salary of the average American for a year, right? But basically those rates, those rates were high back in 12, 13, and they've like bottomed out in the 200s, and then they're coming back out, and now the utilization goes with that, obviously, right? It's basic supply and demand, right?
Right.
And that's the same for the jackups and the So
we're saying that the rates are now increasing as is the demand. right?
Right. The
Is
two
that
things
what-
happen.
that I'm taking away from. I'm taking that away from these charts. Is like, we were up here, and then we got bad. Now we're back.
Now all the bankruptcies and stuff happened back here. We're coming out of this thing. We have you don't just like sell tomorrow's contract today, right? You contract these things years out. So they have $2 billion each year of contracts in 2025 and 2026. And the day rate, so today's average day rate of the floaters is $337. We're already booked for all this business at $362 for next year and $474 in 2026. And the same basic thing as jackups. Well, we do some scenarios based on this, and our EBITDA, whatever that is. It means I looked into it, but I won't explain it. There goes my other light. So evidently they're good. The good one's good for hour and a half, and the bad one is good for less than 10 minutes. So depending on which scenario, they make either $1 billion of EBITDA all the way up to $2+ billion of EBITDA. Well, when you look at those rates I was just talking about, right? 474, 142. Like 474 is damn close to this 500, right? 172. Right. So like out at 2026 and beyond, we're in sort of scenario C type range, right? And we're gonna make over twice the EBITDA.
Right.
And here's the other part. They are selling at 3 times earnings. 3 times earnings. I mean, if their measures of profit more than double, your stock price doubles, and then I gotta believe that there's going to be some valuation doubling here. Maybe not doubling, but increasing. Not only do you get the higher profit, like if the profit doubles, either now we trade at 1.5 times PE, or we at least get the double, and then we maybe even trade at a higher price earnings. So anyway, I think this has this is like the makings of a 4 or 5 bagger, or if it just goes, if things go really, really well, 5+, right? And I even looked at options to like turn 5+ into like 10+, So
let's do it. Fuck any spa. Valaris.
Yeah, any spa.
Val.
Here's what we think of you, any spa. We're not even gonna bother to like learn how to say your name. That's what we think of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Kalyn,
I started saying it. I've said any spa and not epi spa, and that's as far as I'm going with it.
That's right.
Like,
Kalyn's got this recessive gene where she'll say your name in the wrong order and the numbers in the wrong order. So
yeah, I did have it spelled wrong in my head. Just kidding.
So should we do we should long the stock, or should we buy options, or both for the portfolio?
Yeah.
One of the options, those were 2026 numbers. Like some of the options are out in December 2026. So that's one possibility, but maybe it's just smarter it's less risky, obviously, to long the stock. But
well, I'm open to either. Yeah. I say we do the options thing. Let's do it.
All right,
It hasn't worked out great for us with the other one yet.
Yeah,
but it was going really well. So let's try again.
Who wouldn't want that? Yeah, who wouldn't want that again? So
yeah, we gotta learn. Like.
All right,
I'm sold. Yeah, let's do the options for Valaris for sure.
All right.
I don't know what number to choose. I guess 45.
1,000. Yeah, that's Yeah, 45.
Okay.
I guess
cool.
I'll do some math because maybe there's a better deal somewhere else on the option chain. I don't know, but
yeah.
Anyway. Well. Okay. Well, Kalyn,
cool.
We've reached the end of our time here together.
Yeah.
And I don't have an elegant segue or anything, but I figure maybe we could just end the episode.
Yeah, that works too. We got I'm like, do I have anything else that I was gonna?
We have a few leftover topics, but we'll save them for next. We'll save them for next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, folks, stay tuned. We have other topics. And you'll find out.
We have more to talk about than what you've heard today.
Believe it or not, we have not exhausted everything that we were ever going to think. I mean, we had planned to talk about everything we know to talk about until episode 36 and then stop.
Right.
But we mispace ourselves, so
but
we
who
gotta.
Knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? Yeah.
We have
more still.
Gotta have at least one more episode. So, with that, Kalyn, let's cue the music. You have been listening to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast. I'm Robert Kimmel, your host. This is Kalyn Kimmel, your other host. I don't know why I'm introducing us here at the outro. I don't know why. But listen, if whether or not you've forgotten who we are, please do not forget to rate and subscribe and like us. And
share.
Absolutely, Kalyn.
Share with your friends and family, yeah.
You are so right. Share with everyone you know. They need to learn all about Hamburger Helper and any spa.
Yeah,
and
right.
The other
$1 million, what it looks like in a mattress.
And the other grab bag of topics. Bless you.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're done sneezing and we're done talking. But we're not done with one thing. We have forgotten to say one thing, Kalyn. That most important words of all.
It is that take everything that we say as absolute truth for what you do with your money. Just kidding.
Gonna get us sued.
Advice. We're not investment advice. We're not.
We sound like it, but we're not. So.
Totally.
All right, with that, Kalyn, we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.